Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1931 Ford Model A pickup. Up front is a 3.3 liter inline 4, and down below is a 3-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Ford Model A pickup for two reasons. First of all, it's a Model A pickup truck, which I haven't reviewed a pickup truck variant before. But the second reason is the fact that I actually started making this video a year ago, and unfortunately due to vehicle problems, I couldn't finish it. So we are finishing what we started here today. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. But for now, let's talk about the 1931 Ford Model A pickup truck. But if you would like to share your special vehicle with me, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that inline 4 under the hood. Well, it's known as the 201 cubic inch L-head inline 4. Basically a flathead, but you don't really use the flathead terminology when it comes to the 4 cylinders. That's more synonymous with the 8-cylinder flatheads. For horsepower numbers, I've heard dramatic changes from 25 to 30 to 36 horsepower. It's not a lot, but what this engine does make is torque. It is a big 4-cylinder, and it's not far off from what Ford was using in their tractors at the time. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 3-speed manual transmission. It is a non-synchronized transmission, so double clutching is your friend. Take it easy, take it slow, and you'll be okay, but grinding gears is rather common in a transmission like this, as opposed to our more modern stuff. Last but not least about the drivetrain, this is rear-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive a 1931 Ford Model A pickup? Well, it does have a little bit stiffer of a ride than other Model A's because it has an added leaf spring in the back to handle the extra weight that you're gonna put in the bed. My 4-door sedan that I personally own has the same suspension setup. It's actually the same underneath as this pickup truck, but if you get like the 2-door, that's gonna have a little bit cushier of a ride, a little bit more pleasant of a ride. Visibility is good, steering is large and vague, braking is more of a suggestion than anything else, because it does have 4-wheel manual drums, but eventually you'll find your way to a stop. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I don't have anything. We'll talk about the gauges in a second, but I have this giant steering wheel. In the center, this is actually your headlight settings. Off to the left is actually for your timing, so you can advance and retard the timing on the steering wheel, and you actually have to do that while driving, but it's overall not a big deal. I kind of set it and forget it down in the lower position, unless I know that I'm gonna be idling. To the right is actually a hand throttle. If you would like to use a sort of pseudo cruise control, you can do that. On the door, I have my window crank and my latch to get in and out, and that's it. And moving into the center, this is where we get our quote-unquote gauge cluster. Fuel is up in the top, and it actually floats in the fuel tank to give you that reading. The key is off to the left, amperage off to the right, speedometer and odometer down at the bottom. Now, the key does turn, and you turn it on, but that's actually not how you turn the vehicle on. You have to turn the key, and when you do, nothing happens. You have to turn the gas on, and then you have to push this little button down on the floor, and that's your starter motor. Off to the right on the dash, this is your choke, so you'd pull this out if you're gonna cold start it or if the engine needs a little help. Then we have the handbrake down on the floor, as well as this is your gas pedal. So it always throws people off. The gas pedal is actually a little circle, and to the right of that is actually just a footrest. And then you have your more traditional driving setup, so you have brake in the center and clutch to the far left. Unfortunately, there are no cup holders in the 1931 Ford Model A pickup truck. I don't even think cup holders existed for another 50, 60, 70 years, so unfortunately it fails the big friggin' bottle test.
Has this ever happened to you? You're driving your automobile and your stomach starts rumbling. Well, reach for Yum Yum Cloud Candy, the only candy on the market with real asbestos for real flavor. Even doctors recommend Cloud Candy. Enjoy the taste of delicious asbestos today.
Moving up onto the seats, this is a bench seat and it does not have any seat belts. And yes, that is legal because this was before not only seat belts were mandated, but seat belts were even invented. So it is grandfathered in with that law, so you're totally good there. However, I do want to say in terms of space, if you're looking to buy your own Model A and space is kind of a big issue, I'm a bigger guy, so I know that all too well. The two-door seems to be the best spatially, at least. The pickup truck and the sedan that I own are very, very tight up front. So if you really, really need extra space, I would go with either the Roadster or the two-door sedan. That's just my cup of tea, and that's what I prefer. Hopefully that helps you. But because we don't have any back seats, let's hop around the back and we'll talk about the bed. All right, around the back of the Ford Model A pickup truck, and there's really not much to see. We do get these awesome wood slats. I absolutely love this. No crazy tie downs. I don't get an outlet or anything like that. This is way, way, way before that. But it's just so cool being around the back of a Ford Model A pickup. Now, I do want to make one distinction. This is a Ford Model A pickup. There was also, in the era, the Ford Model A. The double A, the AA, meant that it had a way larger rear axle, and that was like the equivalent of the Super Duties of its time. It had a lot of beefed up suspension, it rode like an absolute brick, and some parts don't transfer over to the AA. Now, a lot of the body stuff, things like that, fine, but a lot of the actual mechanical stuff doesn't transfer over. So there is a distinction between the A and the AA, and it's basically the regular duty versus Super Duty that we see here today, just 92 years ago. So something to note there, but otherwise, this is it. And so interestingly, this is actually what keeps the tailgate up. Come over here, you take this out and you slide this over, then this slides down and you can have it all the way down like that, or you can hook these on. This is very hard to do one-handed. There you go. So you hook these on, and then now you have a more traditional tailgate like you might be more familiar with modern pickup trucks. So very, very cool there. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and first of all, it's this finish in a fantastic dark red that I love with the striping. A lot of people have misconceptions about this car, and they think that, oh, they only came in black. That's not true. That was only the Model T, and that was only a couple of years of the Model T. So the Model A came in a whole array of colors. You could get them with the blue wheels. You could get them with yellow wheels. This happens to have black wheels, and I love this color. Now, most pickup trucks back in the day were a matte finish because it didn't have any type of polish to it because it was a pickup truck. It was a workhorse. Now, this was ordered with the extra stripe and the shiny color, so it added a little bit to that $450 price tag back in 1931. I do also want to point out two more things. They both have to do with the radiator. First is the quail up on top. The quail hood ornament is because Henry Ford thought that when the Model A was taking off from a stop, the exhaust note sounded like a flock of quails. And so they gave these quail hood ornaments, which is super cool, and a lot of Model A clubs are known as the Flying Quails because this car was nicknamed the Flying Quail. The other thing is the radiator shroud is black, and that was standard on pickup trucks, but not on other Model A's. So if you see a picture of a Model A and you can only see the front half or the nose of it, and it has a black radiator shroud, that means that it is a pickup truck. So a fun little fact for you there, and thank you, Paul Shin, for that fact as well. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Ford Model A pickup? Well, if you guys are fans of the channel, you'll know that I own my own 1931 Ford Model A. It's a four-door, and I love it to death. It was left to me by my grandfather after he passed, and he owned it since 1985. So driving this pickup truck feels at home. It's sprung the same way as mine. It drives the same way. The interior space is nearly the same. And so it brings back a lot of those good memories and positive feelings. But it's so interesting to me driving a pickup truck variant of something that I know so well, because it really goes to show how versatile the Model A platform was. There was Phaetons and limousines and convertibles and hardtops and coupes and four-doors and pickup trucks, and yet they're all fantastic. And the best thing about a Ford Model A, speaking from an ownership perspective, is the maintenance. They are so easy to work on. They are so forgiving. And if you want to learn how cars basically work, this is one of the best to ever do it. When my Model A has broken down, which has been very, very rare, it's always been one of three things, and it's never been down for more than a few moments. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I love these vehicles so much. And it's just cool to take a step back in history. Having now driven modern F-150s and modern Ford pickup trucks, we have the Maverick, we have the Ranger, and the F-150, F-250, F-350s. They all stemmed from this, which really stemmed from the Model T pickup, but this was the second pickup truck that Ford ever made. And this isn't forgiving. This won't coddle you. This isn't the cushiest ride in America like the new F-150 Platinums. It's so simple and wholesome. I would imagine a small store owner would have one of these in a downtown area and take around carts of Coca-Cola back in the day. You know, that, I mean, the red color really helps that, but that's what I envision this truck is doing. And that to me is so special. Taking my 2023 eyes and taking it all the way back over 92 years ago. This is what life was like, and this is what motoring was like, and that is always so special to feel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Kurt for letting me take out his Ford Model A for a second time to finally shoot this entire video. Kurt has been absolutely amazing to work with. I also filmed his 1967 Chevy Camaro, and he is just such a down-to-earth guy, so kind, and I really, really appreciate him letting me take it out again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and now you can see what happened last year. What ended up happening with this vehicle is the main fuse popped for some reason. I believe it was because I turned the headlights on. There's some type of short. The fuse popped and it was completely dead and we couldn't figure out why. So here's some footage from that review. I hope that you enjoy. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1931 Ford Model A pickup. Moving in the center, I have my gauges. So I do have my fuel gauge up in the center, my key. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.